was asked to give some thoughts about New Beginnings. And for those of you who are visiting today, New Beginnings, it's a program that we chose to go through to look at ourselves as a church and look at what we're doing well, what we'd like to do better, and who we would like to be in the church and the community. So I appreciate being asked my thoughts, and I look forward to hearing everybody else's thoughts who can get up here, because it's really interesting. I always knew that I was on board with it, but it's different to sit down and really think about it and put some time into it. So anyway, last Sunday, Pastor Sherlock asked us to define the word spirit. Many answers were given, and among them was the word energy. And as I began thinking about what I wanted to share today, I thought about those two words, spirit and energy. It made me remember a road cleanup day last summer. Remember? There was a need to clean up the mile-long section of M21 that our church has adopted. We made the plan that on a designated Sunday, during our usual worship time, we would head out to pick up trash that had been accumulating over the year along our section of M21. Not everyone was able to do the roadside work, so some stayed at the church and made lunch for all to enjoy when the road cleaning was done. We also needed someone to drive the van and hand out water, as well as pick up workers when they needed a break. In other words, there was a job for everyone that day. My memories of that day are, it was hot. I think it was in the 90s. We were sweaty. The garbage on the roadside was gross. I even remember someone finding a pair of men's underwear. How does that even happen? I don't know. Anyway. The bottled water was heavenly because it was so hot, and the sandwiches that were prepared for us tasted so good when we got back to the cool church. Now, before we went out to work that day, we shared a partial worship service led by Pastor Sherlock. We then met out in the family center together to don our fashionable neon green vest that we would wear to be safe. And as we put our vests on and stood together and had a prayer, we didn't know what was ahead of us as we headed out, but we knew that we were in it together, and there was an energy within the congregation. There was a spirit within the congregation. We were putting the plan we had spoken about into action, and after the road work was done, and while we were eating lunch together, we discussed how it felt to go out and do this work together in the community. Everyone agreed it felt good that we had accomplished this task together. Though we were tired from the work, there was still an energy within the room. There was still a spirit within the room. And more recently, the need for tutoring in the community has been identified. Students at Cherry Creek Elementary needed some after-school tutoring. So we heard that. A plan was made to provide snacks and tutoring one day a week from 3:45 to 5 o'clock. About 10 to 15 people now show up every Wednesday at Cherry Creek to volunteer their time as tutors, helping the students with their homework, their math skills, and reading, as well as several other people who are not able to be there to tutor who donate snacks. In other words, there's a job for everybody. And let me tell you, there's definitely energy in that media center as about 20 to 25 students enter, put their coats and backpacks down, and settle in for their snack. And as the students are divided into groups with their assigned tutors, the room quiets, but the energy is still there. The spirit is still there. And as it is when the tutors and students say goodbye until the next week. So as I think about new beginnings, there seems to be a pattern developing. Identify a need, make a plan, gather workers, work together, feel the energy, and feel the spirit. And just like when we gathered at the family center, putting on our neon vest and not knowing what was ahead, but feeling that energy or spirit or whichever word you want to call it, we can feel confident that the energy we feel with each unknown future project that we work on together, that something good is about to happen.